The Euro 2024 quarterfinals are upon us, with England sweeping all before them and clearly destined to get their first European trophy, actually. But England aren't the only show in town. They may be the ones playing the swashbuckling football. But there are, of course, other clubs and other matches to contend with. Myself and Gio have already recorded our England-Switzerland preview with where we're predicting clearly an England triumph in that. Get and watch that. We're not really, by the way, but you have to watch that. The link will be in the description below for that video and certainly on the end slate for this one. But what we have coming up, as you all know, is Spain versus Germany, Portugal versus France, England versus Switzerland, and, of course, Netherlands versus Turkey, following the match of the set pieces, really, wasn't it? Turkey, Austria there. Gio, you looking forward to this little round of fixtures? I bet you are.
I am, yeah. It feels like the fixtures are getting a little bit juicy, and I think we've got some good matchups across the 4 games as well. I think perhaps in the last 16, it felt like there was some heavy favourites, and they all went through. But this one, I think it's a little bit tougher to call, and you can apply that to all 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely. What would be your favourite? What's the juiciest? For me, it looks like that Spain-Germany one.
Yeah, the Spain-Germany one. I think we've got the 2 best countries so far going head-to-head, haven't we? I think Spain have been surprisingly good for me. I think I didn't really know what to expect from them coming into it. A couple of good young players, but I can't say I've seen much of them, really. So I was intrigued to see how they'd get on, and I think they've been absolutely brilliant. I think the football they played have been really good. I think their starting 11 is really good, but they've also got a handful of players coming off the bench, which have been seamless substitutions, like Olmo in particular has been just coming in, and it hasn't really altered the performance of the team as well. I think Spain have been and I know people will laugh at this, and say, Spain, how do you not expect them to be good? But they've been my surprise team so far. I didn't really have much expectation from them. I thought they'd get through the group, but more because of lack of faith in their opponents. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed watching them, actually. I really enjoyed watching Spain this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, their midfield is sensational. I totally know what you mean about it's not their underdogs, but you probably fancied maybe a couple of the other nations to maybe be a little bit more dominant than them. And what's the winger's name? Jamal? Is it Jamal?
Jamal, yeah.
I don't think anyone expected him to be as good. I know he was promising, and people knew he was good, but I don't think people appreciate maybe he was that good on the international level. And yeah, as I say, midfield they have total mastery of the football, certainly, and it's amazing to watch some of their players. These players that have come from Barcelona, you hear Barcelona in crisis, you think, well, they're doing all right. Do you know what I mean? They got some pretty damn good players there. Did you? Obviously, West Ham have been linked just quickly there with Ferran Torres. He's featured a little bit. Fancy a bit of him, would you?
Possibly, he was a really good player at Man City as well, wasn't he? Yeah. He's definitely got that sort of ability and match changing bit about him. He perhaps would have been my number 1 choice, but it's not because of him, it's just because of the money I'd imagine Barcelona would demand for him. I haven't seen loads of him in the tournament. He's been coming off the bench and whatever. I don't think I've seen their 3rd match for some reason in Spain. I'm trying to think who they played in the 3rd match day, but I know he started that game because they'd won the previous 2, so they've rotated a little bit. So I must have watched the other group stage game from them. So I haven't actually seen much of Torres, truth be told, in this tournament.
Yeah, well, he looks good. I wouldn't mind him at all. And it doesn't seem to matter. They have a really good way noticing them. They have a real threat. As good as their central midfield is, they have a real threat in terms of their width. It makes me incredibly jealous, has to be said, as an England player, just the freedom that they're allowed to express themselves. Hosts Germany, some pretty good, outstanding individual performances there. And fancy them?
Yeah, obviously they blew us away in match day 1. And again, a country that I wasn't sure what to expect. I had a bit more confidence for Germany than I did Spain. But it feels like they've got a couple of youngsters coming into the team now, in particular Musiala and Wirtz. It was a case of how they're going to get integrated into the 11, what's he going to do? And I think they've been really, really good. Yeah. They've been moving the ball about really well. Enjoyable to watch. I thought Nagelsmann made a big call in the previous game against Denmark, bringing Sani in and dropping Wirtz.
Yes.
But that's a manager with a set of cojones on him, which says, hang on, you might be the better player, but I need width in my team. I need to change the team a little bit for these opponents. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to drop one of my better players and bring somebody else in. And Sané's not a poor player, but he brought him in to change the dynamic of the team, and it yielded, in the end, a comfortable win. There was an element of luck against Denmark and possibly, the controversial decision of the last 16, because obviously the goal got ruled out by a big toe. He's offside. He's offside. I particularly don't like goals being disallowed for
do you
that.
Do you think it was a handball at the other
No,
end?
that was the controversy for me. If a player's offside, he's offside, right? I think I trust this semi-automated thing. I think it's quite clear. I think there's no lines being drawn. I like it if he was a lot more definitive than what we've seen in the Premier League. It doesn't take as long either, so I'm okay with it. The times it's taken long is because they're trying to decide whether the offside player is involved in play rather than is he offside. It's a case of, but is he involved to rule this out? That's been the delay. But to 30 seconds, a minute later, to concede, and the guy that scored, Anderson, conceded a penalty, and that's never a handball for me. I don't like it, and so there's an element of luck there for Germany, but you need a bit of luck to go on and win this tournament. It's just relying on it that's a dangerous thing. Taking advantage of it, not so much.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Musiala very much the poster boy, I think, of this tournament. It's quite funny seeing. You feel a little bit sick as an Englishman about it, but every time I see him pictured in that Fulham kit, I think, how sick are they? Imagine being an Englishman and a Fulham fan. You're going to be, actually sick to the stomach of it. Really. A prediction for this one, please.
I'm going to say 2-1 Spain.
2-1 Spain. Oh, the hosts going out.
What are you saying?
Mate, I've been watching football a long time. It's hard to bet against the Germans. They get stuff done. I'm telling you, they get stuff done. And you're right. It was a brave decision with Wirtz, who's obviously had a tremendous season. We would know that better than most as West Ham fans. But it was the right thing to do with Sané. He brought a pace and direct running to their team. So if he's going to make decisions like that, he looks the part, Nagelsmann, as well, I have to say. Like their defence, they got a perfect blend, I think, of experience and youth. I'm going to go with Germany, I think, for this one. As impressive as Spain have been, home advantage got to count for something, right? It has to. Otherwise, why? Just look at every tournament. Teams win more of their home games than their away games. It has to count for something.
Yeah.
Can I just say, by the way, the pitches are awful. Before I moan about it for England, the pitches are bloody awful. They are awful. I like ETC Sports. Obviously, fantastic 3G pitches. I'll just say that, by the way. Portugal versus France. I got to hold my hands up here. I didn't watch the Portugal game till the end, right? So I just thought Portugal were. I thought Portugal out of the tournament. I probably watched until about 75 minutes, and then the next thing I knew was people laughing at Cristiano Ronaldo crying. That was on social media. So I thought, oh right, well, I don't spend too much time on it. Okay, didn't watch the end of the game. Cristiano Ronaldo's crying. Portugal are out. What bloody happened?
You missed the pen. I mean, this is the two underwhelming countries for me, this game. And this is why it's a good matchup. Because if it was Spain, France, Germany, Portugal, I'd expect Germany and Spain to go through because they're up against. But because it's worked out well, we've got the two heavyweights, and I think we've got the two countries that have been really disappointing for me. I expected much more from both. France have scored 3 goals. They haven't scored a goal from open play yet. Scored 1 pen and 2 own goals. That's not good enough. I know Mbappe missed the game, but still, there's enough quality in that team to get by without him. And Portugal are just, and this, I'll answer your question here, they're just far too indulgent. Portugal have become a little bit Ronaldo FC here. And it's not because he's so good, let's build a team around him and he's going to fire us to the title. It's Martinez. It feels a little bit like Ronaldo's calling the shots rather than Roberto Martinez. And throughout the game against Slovenia, I mean, all tournament, it's been a little bit like, can we get the ball to this guy so he can get his goal, become the record holder for the oldest player to score the Euros and stuff. But against Slovenia, it was just another level of Ronaldo's just self-indulgence and arrogance. And I can't remember the last time that guy scored a direct free kick, but every free kick he was, I'm having this. And he's got there's some other good free kick takers in that Portugal team. But he was just doing the whole, like, and the television broadcasters are playing up to it as well. They're zooming in on and making on it's going to slam it into the top corner. And he never does it. The last free kick he scored, funny enough, was actually when he didn't just blast it, he actually placed it and it went in. But there was one point in the first half, it was at the end of the first half, Portugal got a free kick and it was to the side of the box. It was like maybe 16 yards from the goal line, but it was only maybe 5 yards from the touch line. So it was you have to cross this.
Yes.
And Ronaldo went over and the commentators are, if anyone can, it's him. I thought, well, no, it's not him. It's Dimitri Payet in 2016. That's the guy that might do it.
James Ward-Prowse at Southampton.
but the commentators are bigging him up. It's almost like Ronaldo can hear them going, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
But Pepe's come up for it. Diaz has come up for it. And it's like, you've got to cross this. To make matters worse, the referee came over and said, that's the wrong place. Move it back a couple of yards towards the touchline. And he thought, surely now he's not. I think there was only a 2-man wall. Even the keeper was like, you're not doing anything from there. No. And he still shot. And it was just 0% chance of scoring. It's 0-0. If you're 5-0 up, sure. It's not. It's 0-0. And he just blasted it and flew out for a goal kick. And as a neutral watching it, I say neutral, I'm a little bit invested in Portugal because I thought they'd win the tournament. But I just thought, you are just so power hungry and you're trying to make it about you rather than your country. Then they got a penalty in extra time. He took it, which is fine, but the keeper made a really good save. It wasn't the best penalty, but the keeper saved it. And Ronaldo started crying, and there's clips going around where he sort of looks up at the stand, and his mum's in the stand, and he really starts crying. So it's almost like he's looked at his mum, and that's just broke him. Now, listen, credit to him. I've just laid into him. I don't think he's having a good tournament. I think Portugal got so many good players. They don't need to accommodate one person, but they're doing that at the minute. But credit to him. Penalty shootout. I was sat there. I thought, I bet this guy goes fifth. I bet he puts himself, when he's done it before, where he wants to be fifth, so he's likely to score the winning penalty. He went up first, and he scored a really good penalty. So it was really good, really composed, set the tone. Keeper turned hero, saving 3 penalties. Bang, bang, bang. Incredible by Costa. But yeah, Ronaldo's it's Portugal's turning into Ronaldo FC, and it's a hindrance to them this tournament. And I think if they go out, it'll be because Martinez has tried to accommodate the guy who hasn't turned up at the tournament yet. He might do. A lot of averages suggest somebody with the talent of Ronaldo will turn up because this is now his 5th game. He probably will put in a good performance eventually. But I do think it's becoming more and more reliant on hope rather than confidence, and it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny one, Ronaldo. I mean, he remains probably either him or Ruud Gullit are the best players I've ever seen. I'm talking about live. I never compare a live player to a television player, so it's not about a Lionel Messi. Never see Lionel Messi play football. And I think he's incredible. One of the things, he almost was perfectly suited for every facet of the game. But one of the things that he was incredible at was he's not small anyway. I think he's 6'1" or something like that. But he could jump higher than everybody else. So Ronaldo going to jump higher than someone that's 6'4". It's noticeable that that's left him. And I noticed on quite a few occasions the ball gets crossed over, which you should do when you've got someone like that. I mean, we are talking about probably the greatest goal scorer of all time. You are numerically the whole thing with Pele, and as a whole lot. I'm not suggesting Pele was not a great player, but I think it's fair to say Ronaldo the greatest goal scorer of all time in terms of his goal scoring output. But that stuff that allowed him to be that is not there. And I don't think he is a great player anymore, which is fine. Why should he? Was he 38 or something like that?
39, I think.
39, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to be anymore. But he still thinks he is. But I think he was particularly, and I thought, well, hold on, this guy can still get goals going into this tournament. but it's not just that the sprint. He's now no longer got the spring. He can't out-jump central defenders anymore, which he always could do. I'm not saying he won't score a header, but yeah, it's not like it's difficult to see. It's like you're not seeing someone particularly suffering. But yeah, I totally, if everybody's saying that he's being too indulgent and it's costing Portugal, if everybody's saying it, then surely it must be true. And I was confused because I could tell from the scenes that he'd missed a penalty, but I just presumed because I'd missed like the last 10, 15 minutes of the game, well, he's missed a penalty and they've gone out, because that would be indulgent. It's actually, well, okay, you don't need to cry, be disappointed. Oh, sorry, lads, I missed my one, but we're through. Brilliant. But obviously, so they are through. Okay, so let's go to France. But actually, before we get to France, Geo, I just want to point people in the direction of today's video sponsor, which is Surfshark. And I know Surfshark's a VPN, and there's a lot of people who possibly don't understand what a VPN is or why you would need a VPN. And what I would suggest is, maybe think of the things that you do on your phone or on your laptop. Think about how much of that stuff you don't want people to be able to hack or people to be able to see. I mean, for myself, all my banking is done on my phone now, on my phone app. A lot of my banking is done, maybe PayPal or anything like that. It's on your laptop. It's on your phone. And what a VPN does is it offers you a level of security. So on what otherwise is an open window. Make no mistake about it. If you have your broadband through a sort of standard generic broadband provider, they have the ability to see what you're doing. Now, I'm not suggesting they will necessarily go and do that, but if someone hacks their system, they can do it. This stuff happens. Internet fraud is a big, big deal. It happens all the time. And what you need to do is offer yourself a layer of protection. That's why VPNs are incredibly important. And Surfshark are certainly one of the best. And I say this as someone that's had a Surfshark account for 3 years. It's got it on everything. I've got it on my phone, got it on my computer, and I've got it on my Amazon TV box as well. So yeah, very, very good. The other thing you can do is you can change your location on it as well. So was recently I was in Norway. As you know, if you're abroad and you try and use the internet is quite clever. It knows where you are, and it wasn't offering me up the type of stuff I wanted to see. So I went onto my VPN. I said, no, I'm no longer in Norway. I'm in London. I wasn't really. It was tricksy. And then what I did was I was able to get all of the stuff which enabled me to view everything that I wanted to view on my phone and on my laptop from the country that I chose to view it from. I actually think it's a must-have. I wouldn't even consider it to be a recommendation. If you don't have a VPN, you probably need one, and we've got a very, very good offer from Surfshark at the moment.
Yeah, we've got two good offers. If you're unsure, after everything Gonzo said, you're still a little bit indecisive, give it a go, because they offer a per today money back guarantee as well. So you get out today, 28 days time, you're thinking, no, I'm not happy with this, I don't think I need it. You can get a full refund, no questions asked. However, if you do stick with them, you will activate the offer if you use the Hammers Chat code, which is just Hammers Chat, all one word, or the link is in the description below. They're giving you 4 months free. So when you sign up for your annual subscription, you only pay for 8 months. The other 4 are completely free for using the Hammers Chat code. So do get involved and keep yourself protected online. You ready to open up your laptop and invite everybody to have a look at what you're doing on your computer screen? So get protected.
Absolutely. You cover your PIN number at the ATM. You might as well do the same with your banking details when you're on your mobile phone.
Man, we've all heard of data breaches from big companies as well. If you're signed up to those companies, you're going to panic. With a VPN, you don't panic as much.
Please use the description. I don't know you come from Hammers Chat. France, Geo, not impressed, clearly.
No, can't score, won't score. Not creating many chances. Lots of big players. In terms of talent in a squad, I think they're possibly the most talented. They've got at least two top players for every single position: goalkeeper, left back, centre midfield, attacking midfield, right wing, whatever position. They've got 2 really good players there. I expected a lot better from them, truth be told. When I've watched them, their games have been boring. They've been very underwhelming. It's not been enjoyable to watch. Very disappointing. This is the most disappointed country for me. I think they've been just as bad as England in some regards, not everything, but I had higher expectations from France than I did England. So that makes them the most disappointing country at the tournament for me. even with Mbappe back, he's trying his best to make things happen. It's not working. The midfield makeup, I don't think Deschamps nailed that yet as to what his best midfield consists of. I tell you what, N'Golo Kante looks fantastic. He looks really good. He's obviously gone off to Saudi, so you don't see him anymore. He's come back to the Euros and just reminded you what a top player he is. But I don't think he's really worked out what to do with Conte, as in who plays next to him. Does he stick with Rabiot? Does he play Tchouaméni in there? What's he doing? I'm not sure how the French... I feel confident about how the Portugal will line up, how England will line up for the quarterfinals. France, I'm not so sure because of that midfield sort of makeup. I expected much more. Griezmann's had a good tournament. I like him, but I think just underwhelming.
So who do you think's going through on this one?
I think Portugal. I think Ronaldo doesn't have to come good for them to win. I think there's enough talent in that squad to get by, even if Ronaldo doesn't turn up. But with France, they're just, like I said, 3 goals, 2 own goals, and 1 penalty. That's worrying after 4 games for a squad with that much talent. The opposition is just a way to get a little bit tougher as well. I think Portugal edged this one. I think this will possibly be the least entertaining game of the quarterfinals. So I'm going to say 1-0 to Portugal.
Well, yeah, maybe. Not sure about scoreline. It's hard to bet against France. They do have so many good players, as you say. You look at the players that haven't made the French squads. It's some bloody good players. I'll go with Portugal as well, though. I think I do wonder, despite everything we said, and I do wonder if everything we said, despite the story, Ronaldo trying to make the story about himself, I do wonder if the story will ultimately be about Ronaldo. Whereas actually, perhaps the point we tries least is the point where it does become about him. And I wonder if there is football as it has a habit of making heroes or villains out of people, and I think you can switch from hero to villain really, really quickly, particularly in a tournament. He's definitely villain at the moment, but I wonder if there's something in there. Look, England, Switzerland, we'll gloss over this one really, really quickly, just because we've already recorded a video on this, which you can go and watch on this channel. Are we going to give spoilers here? Do you want to? Should we say what we said? If you want more detail, go and watch that video.
Yeah, we'll do a quick summary. I think I've been impressed with Switzerland. I've seen Switzerland play 3 games. I've been really impressed in 2 of them. Not so impressed in the other one, that was against Scotland. But the last 16, I watched them thinking, if this Switzerland turn up and group stage England turn up, the Swiss will win. 24 hours later, group stage England turned up and snuck through, and I thought, right, okay, here we go. It all depends on one man in particular, which you can find out over in the preview, and it's a Swiss player and an English player. However, if he's available, I think Switzerland win this one, Gonzo.
Yeah, and as I say, go for full details. See the other video, particularly quite a lot of moaning, a little bit of a rant as well on that video, and some key men, and one key man in particular mentioned, but I'm actually going for Switzerland on this one as well, which takes us on to Netherlands against Turkey, which is also that's also Saturday. So that's the last one of the 4. So that's 8 o'clock. The England match at 5 o'clock, and obviously the 2 previous ones are on the Friday. Turkey versus Austria. And Turkey went 2-0 up in that game, as I remember. And it looked like possibly Austria was starting to come back into it. Been impressed by Turkey?
Yeah, fantastic. In terms of entertainment, they've delivered it. Their game against Georgia, I think, was the best game of the tournament. Their game against Austria, I thought, was fantastic as well. A real tactical battle, and 2 countries going for it. And I appreciate if you were to sort of look at the facts, which is 3 goals, all 3 goals from set pieces, and perhaps suggests that it wasn't that great open play, but I thought it was really, really good. I think I've enjoyed, this is what I love about football tournaments like this, where you get to watch players you've never heard of, or you've heard of, but you've never seen. And a lot of those players are for Turkey, Güler in particular. I didn't know who he was. And then he plays for Real Madrid, and I was like, I still don't know who he is.
Sure.
Wow, what a talent he is! He's absolutely fantastic. Now, people know who he is and they've watched him. They'll be watching him. Yeah, I'm used to this. But it's just not a big deal to them. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it because I don't know who the guy is. I think Turkey have been really good. I thought their defence against Austria, they conceded a few chances, but I thought their defence stood really strong. I was quite impressed by them. I think the left back of Turkey, I don't know his name. He's got nice hair.
Gugu.
Is that his name?
No, I think it just looked a bit like that when I read it.
But we've been linked to him. Last time we've been linked to him.
Yeah, he was linked to him. I believe.
Yeah, I think he's been. Him and Cucurella, weirdly, I never thought I'd say this about Cucurella. Them two have been my two favourite left backs of the tournament. But I think he's looked really, really good. So, yeah, Turkey have been I've enjoyed watching country from the tournament so far. So I've only got nice things to say about them, actually.
Yeah, really good. Netherlands, I've been, as I mentioned, Javi Simmons, I really like this guy. I think he's excellent. And I remember him remember West Ham being linked to him, looking at him. It was at PSV, I believe, was a couple of years ago, and he was looked to be a real player. Low center of gravity, really comfortable on the ball, really technical. Yeah, the sort of player Jack Wilshere should have been, really in many respects. But it's harsh on Wilshere. He was very good up until he picked up the injuries. But Gak was really impressed with Gakpo, actually, because I think he sort of flattered to deceive a little bit. I think Liverpool signed him off the back of good international form. And then I'm not saying he was crap at Liverpool, but you never felt he really grabbed the shirt and took the shirt for, permanently. But watching him in this tournament, he looks a real threat. And they've got that threat there. They've also got a real threat central midfield. The player's name escapes me. A tall
Reinders.
player. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he looks really good as well. There's a lot to like about the Dutch team, Gio.
Yeah, group stage, I thought they looked a little bit flaky. I don't think they were that great. I think there was one or two good performers for them. But again, Koeman kept switching their roles up a little bit. Reinders was number 10, and he was sitting midfield. Simons was starting, and he wasn't starting. And I felt like he had half his team. He knew he wanted his back four is his back four. He knew he wanted Reinders in there, just whereabouts in midfield. He knew he wanted Depay and Gakpo, but who plays on the right? He changed that again. Bergwijn started the last 16 for the first time, but they came to life in the last 16. I was surprised at how good they were. And now Romania were never going to be the most difficult team in the world, but the Dutch have struggled against plenty of countries that are not the most difficult team in the world, and they handled them fantastically well. They were just on it from the first minute till the last. I thought the Netherlands, I thought they were superb. I completely agree with you about Gakpo. I think he's been sensational this tournament out on that left-hand side. And, he almost joined a Premier League club in the January transfer window prior to his move to Liverpool. I can't recall who it was. But it was one on the level of West Ham. It wasn't a Champions League one. And I remember him just saying, no, I'm going to wait. And then he went up, did the next 6 months, then Liverpool came in for him and he did the right thing.
Yeah.
But I think what you've seen is the real Gakpo in this tournament. We've not seen that at Liverpool for whatever reason. I think it's because Klopp kept playing him through the centre and he's not a number 9. Whereas now we're seeing him back in his natural position on that left-hand side. And he's difficult to mark. He doesn't mind getting the ball out on the touchline and running at your right back. But if your right back goes out to him and goes touch tight, he doesn't mind running in behind. He's an incredibly hard player to keep a hold of because he doesn't mind playing either way. And you can't really double up on him that much because he's so far out on that left-hand side. He's a real danger man. And I think what the Dutch have done really well is have that threat on the right-hand side with Dumfries. So Ake doesn't come forward that much, so he stays back, allows Gakpo to go forward, but allows Dumfries to come down the right. They retain the balance. It means that whoever's playing on the right, further ahead of Dumfries, whether it be Malin, whether it be Bergwijn, they're able to just come in a little bit, get a little bit closer to Depay and let Dumfries attack that right hand side. I think he's been superb down that area too. And Dumfries, maybe a player that's never really fulfilled his potential as far as I'm concerned. I thought he'd go on to become one of the best in the world down that in that right back position. I think he's a really good right back, but
he sounds Scottish as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him in the Scotland team. Could have done with the right back.
Yeah.
But I think him and Gakpo have been two of my favourite players of the tournament. Van Dijk, I feel, has struggled a little bit. Committing a lot of fouls, which is not something he really does with Liverpool. I think usually he's quite composed. Feels a little bit more erratic for some reason. Maybe he's a bit more exposed or doesn't really have some of that protection he gets in a Liverpool shirt. But I think Ake is also having a really good tournament. So the Dutch, up until their last game, wasn't that impressed. But out of the last 16, one of the most impressive teams, albeit against a pretty poor Romania side.
Yeah, you don't want that headline, do you? Dyke exposed is not a good one for the newspapers, I'm thinking. We Netherlands, Turkey. Give us your prediction for that one.
I think this one might go the distance. If I had to put money on one of them being a draw, it's this one. I think. Don't know. I'm struggling. I think I might say. I'm going to say the Turkish do it on pens.
I mean, yeah, they've got the more consistency, the more consistent form, haven't they? I think they're and performance.
Big support. They've got big support as well in Germany.
They do have a big support. But I think there were so many things being thrown on the pitch. I certainly heard something afterwards that they might, if it happens again, they might have their tickets curtailed. They might have suffer some punishment because of that. Which they that support might not be as if they carry on, it might not be as big as they might hope. I think I'm going to go with Turkey as well, though, because I just think it's a better, more consistent performance. And again, they look like a team. They've got some really good technical players, and I look at them, and particularly, as an Englishman, I sort of look at them and look at the way they play. You're just jealous of them. You're jealous of that style of play. You're jealous of their efficiency and their effectiveness. And I think they're really good. I think that's a tight game, by the way. I do think that's a tight game. I guess any of them, I was just about to say either one of them winning wouldn't surprise me. But I say that about Spain, Germany, Portugal, France, England, Switzerland.
That's what I'm saying. We've got good matchups. This round, it feels like a really good balance to the draw.
They are. Yeah, I'll go with Turkey as well. But I mean, it's anyone. But any of them are anyone's. But overall, excited for the West weekends. Friday and Saturday's festivities.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Really, I've enjoyed the Euros. Monday night was crap, which was the France, Denmark, and then Portugal, Slovenia games. That Monday night, I thought that was the first time I was a bit bored over the whole day. There's been sometimes there's a poor game, but there's been a good game as well. So over the day, I've enjoyed it. But on Monday, not so much. I thought that was the first time in the Euros. I thought this is a bit crap. But thoroughly enjoyed it. Really looking forward to these quarterfinals.
I agree. It feels not just because England are in it. It feels like, because in fact, I was going to say it feels like a festival of football. England are not indulging in a festival of football. That's for sure. But it feels like it feels like an occasion now. It feels like it just got serious. So looking forward to these as well. And there you go. Look, we've already covered the England game in more detail. If you want to go and check that out, that'll probably be on the end slate for this video. If not, just go and check it out. If you subscribe to this channel and you've dinged the bell, you can get a notification for both videos anyway. If you've not, then subscribe to the channel and ding the bell, and then you won't even need to use the end slate for the England preview. It'll already be pinged to your phone, even if you have installed Surfshark.